Alright, long story short, I accidentally deleted this, what was originally going to be this video, and then the ones on the last point, so I'm going to redo them now. Okay, I was going to talk about attacking the Spire. So let's jump over there. Now, blah, 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 moving over. Alright, let's see if I can carry on the train of thought that I had. This is kind of like a break in the flow, so I guess I'll try to start from scratch talking about attacking the Spire. Now, typically, there's essentially two stages of taking the Spire. I say that kind of... take that with a grain of salt, what I just said, actually. Because you can control the yard and then be denied access of the Spire. However, most of the time when you take control of the yard, the other side pretty much retreats because of the fight that took place in the yard that they lost. They decide to retreat and go back into the base and then run up to the battlements, or if they're soldiers, rocket jump up or something like that. But other times they'll retreat back into this area that we're looking at right now, and that's a pretty good defensive position to be. However, you normally don't see that happen too much. I don't really know why. I guess it's just not as commonplace of a tactic. But anyway, from the offensive perspective, when you turn this corner, not 9 times out of 10, but maybe like 7 or 8 of the times out of 10, you want to pop an Uber or something like that to make sure that you do not die from any stickies. Now, that's assuming that you know there are stickies there. If you don't know, well, you need somebody to obviously check. I believe it's possible to like get like this tight little angle, hug this wall, and be able to see from at least right here whether or not there are stickies on that wall. And that's a very important call to make. But like I said earlier in the last video, you always turn this corner wide when you're pushing into the area for the first time, unless of course you know that their demo man is dead. That's something your medic should be checking on when he looks at the tab menu whenever he presses the tab menu to see who's alive and who's dead. Also, side mini tip, if you're playing as a competitive medic, you always want to keep tabs before the match starts. Who is the medic on the opposing side? Who is the demo man on the opposing side? That way you know who to look for to see if they're alive or dead. Those are very important things to keep track of while you're playing in a match, for strategical calling purposes. But anyway, back to attacking the Spire. When you move into the yard, what I typically see happen, and what I prefer to do, is I try to have the combo stay low while the demo man and the roamer. The demo man goes straight to the Spire so that he can get stickies and try to suppress them. Try to either push them off the Spire with stickies if they're on there, or if they are not on there, then get them off of the battlements by putting stickies on this little area right here, and possibly pipes down over here, so that any snipers who are dancing around here can just, you know, go bugger off, and stickies and whatnot over here, so that if their combo, the defensive combo, retreats from the Spire, retreats from the yard in front of us right here and comes onto the battlements, then they're forced to either go this way or come back. But since there are usually pipes going this way, they pretty much retreat back here, in which case even more pipes would be wonderful. And then that makes more room for the scouts to come on and take the point, and then ideally you cap it from there. A lot of things can go wrong, of course, but that's just the general idea of what happens with the demo and the scouts. As for the soldiers and the medic, whenever we do this, I try to keep my I play medic, by the way, in case you didn't already know from watching the other videos. But you want to keep your soldiers, from the medic's perspective, or whoever the strat calls, you want to keep your soldiers low, and then when you get close to the area, and you know that you're secure in this region that we're in right now. When you have control of the bridge, is what I like to say, you want to let your roamer go up, either rocket jump up here, or for whatever reason, or go up here. However, if your demo and scouts have control of the Spire, there's no real need to have your roamer go up there, because you're going to capture it anyway. So the most aggressive thing you can have them do is try to like drift forward and look inside to make sure there's no stickies up here. This is a very common place to put stickies, right along this inner roof right here. It's really hard to see when you're walking in. You have to like check it, but that's a very common place, and I've died many times walking into there because of rookie mistakes and whatnot. But hopefully they won't happen to you. The bridge is a very dangerous place if you're a medic, because enemy scouts can come around from here. They can come from this doorway as well. They can pretty much come at you from practically any angle. And right here is another reason why they can also come up at you from above, even directly in front of you. But another reason why it's really bad is because something that typically happens is that as you push forward, enemy scouts will like drift through and kind of like go around you and then wait for you to get settled in, and then they'll just like come out of nowhere from behind you as you're moving into this building and just like trying to pound you in the butt, in the back. Rather, I'm trying not to curse. But going under the bridge typically happens if you're a medic, because you want to try and evade the scouts, and one really fast way to do that is to just like duck down and hide and try to use line of sight to keep you alive. Going inside doesn't really work out too much when you're trying to push in, but I really need to move this on. You have control of the yard. It just becomes, in order to take the Spire after you have control of the yard, it's just a question of trying to get them off the battlements so that they cannot have a way to shoot at you while you sit on the points. And that usually, and the best way of doing that is to have your demo be up there, as well as your scouts ideally. But if your demo and your scouts are up there preoccupied with the Spire, your soldiers need to be working extra hard to take care of you down here, so that these scouts and whatnot do not try to come at you, because that's like the biggest concern that you guys can have once you have control of the area. So one way you can prevent against scouts is to hide back here, but if you have your combo sit too far back right here, it's very common to have enemy soldiers try to peek out through here. Maybe like even one time I saw they like come down here and try to. I don't know if you can. I don't think you can shoot through this little gap right here, but you just like jump that you have like the enemy roaming soldier, the defensive roaming soldier, fall down right here and just try to like rocket jump and just like basically suicide himself into you. That's a really bad thing right here. So this essentially, this area right here is very dangerous. One thing you can do offensively is to have control of this area. This is a much safer option, but you don't. But if you have your combo right here and your scouts and demo are up here, then nobody is watching back here for like a back cap. Like I said earlier, scouts can just like go around, wait for you to get comfortable, and then come out of nowhere from behind and just like pound you. You know what I mean? That's a really bad scenario. You don't want that to happen. But ideally, that's pretty much the idea of taking care of the Spire. So I think there isn't really much else to talk about in terms of the Spire thing. I think I'm done with that. I might have forgotten something, like in the last video I might have said I was going to do something and then not do it here, but that's just because of like this big old time difference. I recorded the video for this in the past, but then I deleted it on accident. I'm not going to talk about it. It was really stupid. I ran out of hard drive space, blah. I downloaded too much crap. Anyway, so that's essentially that, and now I'm going to talk about attacking and defending next, so blah.